In the vibrant tapestry of Argentine politics, a new color has emerged, bold and defiant, in the form of Javier Milei. His ascent is not just a story of political gain, but a testament to the enduring allure of libertarian principles in a country marred by economic turmoil and political dissatisfaction. Javier Milei, an economist by training, has transformed from a scholarly figure into a political dynamo, captivating the Argentine public with his fiery rhetoric and unapologetic advocacy for libertarian ideals. His rise is a rebellion against the traditional political establishments, a clear indication of the public's growing disillusionment with conventional economic policies and state interventions that have long dominated the Argentine political landscape. Milei's journey into the political arena was fueled by his vehement criticism of these traditional economic policies. With a background in economics, he has been a vocal opponent of excessive government spending, high taxation, and what he perceives as the economic mismanagement that has led Argentina into repeated cycles of inflation and financial crises. His message resonates with a segment of the population that feels suffocated by the heavy hand of government regulation and interference. Milei taps into this discontent, channeling the frustration into a call for a radical overhaul of the state's role in individual lives and the economy. His vision, inspired by the libertarian ethos, speaks of minimizing government to its essential functions, championing the free market, and upholding individual liberties as paramount. Milei's political narrative is not merely a replication of libertarian thought, it's a passionate, almost romanticized, embrace of individual freedom and self-determination. This narrative finds its philosophical roots in the works of Ayn Rand, whose objectivist philosophy champions the moral right of the individual to pursue their own happiness and fulfillment. In Milei, we see a figure who not only preaches these principles but embodies them. His direct, often confrontational style marks a departure from the diplomatic, measured tones traditionally favored in politics. It's a style that has garnered both fervent support and stark criticism, reflecting the polarizing nature of his ideology. As we witness Milei's political ascent, it's crucial to understand that his rise is not an isolated phenomenon but part of a larger context. Argentina, with its history of economic instability and political upheaval, provides a fertile ground for ideologies that promise a break from the status quo. Milei's emergence is symptomatic of a broader societal desire for change, a change that challenges the very foundations of the Argentine state and its economic policies. In this chapter, we have only begun to scratch the surface of Javier Milei's complex and intriguing political persona. As we delve deeper into his ideologies and proposals in subsequent chapters, we must keep in mind the unique Argentine context that has shaped and fueled his rise. Milei's story is more than a political narrative. It's a chapter in the ongoing saga of a nation's struggle to define its identity and future. To comprehend the ideological underpinnings of Javier Milei's political ascent, one must turn to the philosophy of Ayn Rand and her doctrine of Objectivism. Rand, a Russian-American novelist and philosopher, left an indelible mark on the landscape of political and economic thought, championing a worldview that elevates individualism, rational self-interest, and laissez-faire capitalism. At the heart of Objectivism lies the belief in the objective reality and external reality existing independent of consciousness or perceptions. Rand postulated that the pursuit of one's own rational self-interest and personal happiness is the highest moral aim. In her view, each individual exists for their own sake, neither sacrificing themselves to others nor sacrificing others to themselves. Objectivism fiercely advocates for laissez-faire capitalism as the only social system that fully respects individual rights. Rand argued that a free market, unimpeded by government intervention, is the most just and efficient economic system. She envisioned a minimal state limited to the protection of individual rights through the police, military, and courts. This philosophy extends into Rand's ethical views, which reject altruism, the selfless concern for the welfare of others, as incompatible with individual freedom and autonomy. Instead, Objectivism promotes rational egoism, where ethical actions are those that rationally further one's own life and interests. The role of reason is central in Objectivism. Rand saw reason as man's only means of gaining knowledge and his basic tool for survival. In her philosophy, emotions are not tools of cognition, rather, they are the product of subconscious values and should not be the guide in making decisions. Instead, she argued that every individual should engage in rational thinking and act accordingly. Rand's philosophy has been both highly influential and controversial. It has been celebrated for its unwavering advocacy of individual liberty and free market principles, while also criticized for its perceived ethical selfishness and the uncompromising nature of its individualism. In the context of Argentine politics, and particularly in the rise of Javier Milei, Rand's Objectivism offers a philosophical backdrop against which Milei's libertarian ideals can be understood. Her emphasis on individual rights, limited government, and free markets echoes in Milei's rhetoric and policy proposals, setting the stage for a deeper exploration of how these ideas manifest in the practical realm of Argentine governance and economics. As we delve further into Milei's political ideology, it is important to keep in mind the philosophical roots planted by Ayn Rand. Objectivism, with its distinct and often polarizing worldview, provides a lens through which Milei's political actions and proposals can be analyzed and understood. The political ascent of Javier Milei in Argentina is not just a narrative of an economist turning into a political maverick, it's a manifestation of the philosophical principles laid down by Ayn Rand. Milei's vision for Argentina, rooted in libertarian ideals, finds a resonant echo in Rand's Objectivism, drawing a distinct parallel between their shared belief in individual freedom, limited government, and free market capitalism. At the forefront of this connection is the principle of individual rights. Rand's philosophy champions the inviolable nature of individual rights, asserting that the primary role of the government is to protect these rights, not to control or direct the lives of its citizens. Milei's political rhetoric and proposed policies reflect this fundamental belief. His advocacy for reducing the size of the government, slashing taxes, and eliminating regulatory overreach is grounded in the conviction that individual liberty is paramount, and the state should only exist to protect this liberty. Another significant overlap is their shared advocacy for a free market economy. Rand's Objectivism posits that a laissez-faire economic system, free from government intervention, is the only moral and practical system. It's a system that respects individual rights, rewards merit, and fosters innovation. Milei's economic platform is a testament to this belief. His call for privatization of state-owned enterprises, deregulation of the economy, and promotion of free trade are pillars of an economic structure that Rand would argue allows individuals to thrive and prosper based on their abilities and efforts. Additionally, both Rand and Milei emphasize the role of reason and rational self-interest. Rand's philosophy holds that rationality is man's greatest virtue, and the pursuit of one's rational self-interest is morally right. Milei's arguments for economic reforms are often framed within the context of rational analysis and empirical evidence, focusing on the long-term benefits of a free economy for individual prosperity and societal wealth. However, it's crucial to note that while Milei's vision is in many ways congruent with Rand's philosophy, there are nuances and contexts unique to Argentina's social and economic landscape. Milei's adaptation of Randian principles is not a carbon copy, but rather an interpretation shaped by the specific challenges and realities of contemporary Argentina. In understanding the connection between Milei's vision and Rand's philosophy, one must also consider the Argentine context, a country with a history of economic instability, inflation, and government overreach. In this setting, Milei's embrace of Rand's principles can be seen as a response to the failures of previous economic policies, and a desire to chart a new course towards economic stability and individual freedom. In conclusion, the connection between Javier Milei's political vision and Ayn Rand's Objectivism is profound and instructive. It reveals how philosophical ideas can influence and shape political discourse and policymaking, particularly in contexts where traditional approaches have faltered. As Milei continues to shape his political narrative, the shadow of Rand's philosophy looms large, offering a philosophical foundation for his libertarian crusade in Argentina.